you guys how I apply my red Aspen nail dashes. Today I'm going to do Jenna Ghost Coconut, and these are actually a long coffin length. So I removed my other dashes, I trimmed my nails down, and that's about all I've done. I did rub alcohol on them because you want to get all the oils off of your hands before you do this. And so I just wiped them with like a makeup wipe actually, and some rubbing alcohol. You can use a little pad if you want, or if you don't want to use rubbing alcohol, you can use white vinegar. Here's what comes in the package. There's going to be this little shiny little guide to you can place your nails out on them if you want. But you get 24 nails in a package, and you get everything you need. So you have your bottle of nail glue. You open it this way. There's going to be 12 nails in each size because everyone has different size fingers, different size hands. So you also get the cuticle stick, and you get a little buffer stick. So one side's a little rougher than the other. So you have the dark charcoal and you have the pink side. So this one's for kind of smoothing, and this one's for really filing if you need to. Then you have all your nails in here, and every single nail has a size on the back. So it's always at the tip. So if I was going to use this one on this finger, which it's way too small, but the number showing the size is going to be right here on the tip. So then you put the rounded end, you kind of actually press it into your cuticle, and so to get a good fit. And then what you want to do too is the longest part is going to be finding your nail size. So then once you figure it out, keep a note in your phone or write it down. You can definitely do it that way, just so it makes it easier to hunt for them the next time. So I'm going to set the box aside. I'm going to set this little shiny piece aside, and I'm going to find my nails. So I have it memorized. I know that I wear 1 on my thumb and an 8 on my pinky, and so that is kind of where I go from there. So here's my number 8 for my pinky. Here's a 5.5. So I kind of go between a 5.5 or a 6 between my pointer finger and my ring finger. So I'm going to keep those ones handy because it kind of depends on the nail shape which one I'm going to use. So here's the other 5.5. Here's the 4. So I know that I wear a 4 on my middle finger. So I'm going to keep that one. So I use the other side of it to kind of set nails aside that I don't need, because it's kind of hard for me to dig sometimes. So I just want to get them out of the way. So here is my number 1 that I use for my thumb. So I just know that it really, it just kind of sits in there. You really press it up against the cuticle. Feels good. So I'm going to keep that one out. So the biggest size is a 0, and this is a 0. So it's just a little too big for a little too wide for my thumb. But if you needed to, if you're kind of in between, or say if there's like a mixed mani pack and you wanted to use different ones on different fingers, you can file the sides down to make them fit. So what do I have here? This is why you lay them out. It doesn't help that I have a fan going, so it's blowing them all over the place. All right, so I have all 5 fingers set aside. So there we go. So then I just set them that way, and then you're gonna wanna work pinky to pinky, ring finger, and alternate hands, because you use these fingers the most to put them together. And then the other thing that you do is you can use the cuticle stick to kind of push your cuticles back, especially if you've been wearing other dashes for a couple weeks. I wore my last set for just over a week before I got antsy, and I had so many new sets that I wanted to try. So I'm just gonna go for it. And the other ones release from my nails really easily. I just soaked them in warm water, warm soapy water, for about 10 minutes, and I was able to pop them right off. You can also use this to kind of get rid of any other remaining glue. And then also having this cuticle stick is handy just in case you have any extra glue kind of squish out if you used a lot. And you have some glue squish out while you're doing it, you can just kind of take your cuticle stick there and wipe the glue away. All right, so you push your cuticles back, And then you're gonna take your buffer stick here, and if you have a lot of glue that you need to file off, like I had some on this one, I would use it here. And then you just kind of rough up your nails a little bit because that will help the adhesive stick a little bit better. Here is my bottle of nail glue, which is actually not the one from this package, but I'm gonna use it because I don't like to waste. So there's different ways that you can do the glue depending on how long you want them to stay on. And so if you're like me, like right now, I'll probably want to switch these out pretty soon. I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of glue, and just so that, you know, they release really easy when I want them to. So I'm just gonna use the tiniest little drop of glue. I rub it around, and this is not like lash adhesive. You do not have to wait. So you take your nail here, press it under the cuticle, kind of at an angle, and then lay it down on your nail and hold it for about 30 seconds or so. Press it down, get it nice and bonded. And there we go. One is done. So I'm actually only going to do one hand for this video, but normally I would alternate and I would go to my other pinky, but I'm actually going to just switch to this one. So I'm going to use the number 6. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of glue. I didn't even squeeze it. This is just extra glue that was just kind of hanging out on the outside. So if you want your nails to just last, you know, a weekend or something fun, just use a tiny bit of glue, rub it around, just a tiny little dot. Normally what I do is I kind of do a little bit more and cover my own natural nail, and then I press it on. And then if you really want them to stay bonded, if maybe you have a job where, you know, you're kind of rough on your hands, rough on your nails, and you really want them to stick and you don't want any to pop off, you know, you can apply some glue to your nail and also the back of the dash so that you can just, it really bonds. All right, so there's 2. So tiny bit of glue, and I'm just gonna rub it around. These ones are a fun color. They are Jenna Goes Coconuts. So they're kind of like a taupey pink at the base, and they're ombre to some white tips, but I am probably going to reshape these, so, because they are long. I do like the long nails though, they're pretty fun. But you can reshape them if you want. Or if you like the coffin length, there are options. So the trick is, don't use too much glue. You do not want it, you know, squishing out. You don't want to get it on your fingers. You don't want to get it, you know, on the nail dash, because it will leave like a fingerprint on the nail dash. But the nice thing is that if you do get some glue on the nail dash, like if it's just a little, it will normally wear off pretty well. If you get some on your skin, it will normally wear off pretty well. But I did see a trick on Instagram today where if you do have some nail glue on your skin and you want to get it off, you just take some petroleum jelly and kind of really rub it in to the glue, and it will kind of help dissolve it. And then you just use an alcohol wipe, or you know, you could just use maybe like a paper towel with some alcohol on it, and that will get all that residue off. All right, and let's do my thumb. My thumb still has a little bit of glue left on it from my last set. Oh, and I just realized I was using a lot of glue there. I didn't want to, but that's okay. It'll really stick. Okay, and so if you are wearing them and you do lose a dash, all you have to do is just use your buffer stick, buff your nail down, get that glue off, you know, wipe off any oils, any debris, things like that. Again, use your alcohol, or you can use white vinegar if you want to, and get any, you know, any oils or anything off, and then just re-glue the dash off if you know where it went. And once you do that, I've found that it actually sticks really well. So, and there we go. One hand done. Jenna Goes Coconuts. Super fun. Those are really cute, actually. So, and they, you know, nice and strong, really good. These are really cute. I'm really digging them, guys. All right, so yeah, like I said, if you lose one, if you just take your buffer stick and just kind of buff your finger down, or buff the nail down, rough it up again, and then once you do that, I've found that they'll actually stick really well, because sometimes when you start using nail dashes, sometimes, you know, the first bond isn't that great, but it will get better over time. Especially if one pops off, just put it back on. They'll bond much better. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. Bye.